Hello and welcome to Awaken Experience. Today we are going to speak about the wisdom of the body. Tantra, that means the expansion of awareness, starts in the body, doesn't stay only in the body, expand behind the body, but everything starts in the body, in our own body. Before we reach out to other body, we need to be aware of our own body. Actually, how to reach out to the other if we are not feeling our own body, if we are not connected with our own body, with our own wisdom, with the perceptions of the body. Bringing back that remembering, that possibility, it's our invitation for you today.
We are taught in our culture to live from the neck up, to be always thinking and planning from the head, and everything comes from here. We never take the time to really listen to our hearts and to live from here. And when you do, something very magical can happen. Our body is our greatest gift. It's a gift from God, the divine, the universe. It is full of magic and it is a self healing mechanism. And if we can remember how fantastic this actual vehicle that we have in this life is, we can transform our lives. When we know the magic of our body and we truly love these cells that our consciousness resides in, we can have a much more full, magical life because everything is energy. And when we appreciate this energy and love this energy, we will radiate this love and therefore attract more love.
Then, how we can connect more with our body. First invitation, slow down. Slow down really more than you think is slow. Slow down to feel. Slow down to give time to feel, to connect, to observe, to be curious, to feel all the parts of the body, to look when you have the feet on the ground, and maybe you can try without shoes, to really feel it, to really feel your toes, the palm of your feet on the ground, but also to feel your hands, to feel your ears, to feel your skin, to start to feel from outside the biggest, the biggest organ that we have, that is the skin, and to feel from inside, to feel slowing down, to feel the breath, to feel the breath to slow down the breath, to feel, to be aware if you are breathing in or if you are breathing out. And that will make all the difference because we'll connect with more with yourself. And when you connect with your body, with yourself, you are connecting with the present moment, with the moment that we are living, not the past that we carry, not the future that we project, but the present moment that we are in this moment, in this place. And then when you connect with the other, you are also in the present moment. You are there just feeling what has to be felt, just living what is to be lived in each moment, and not carrying the past and projecting in the future.
Mm. And when we connect with our body through the breath, also through movement, we can dance, we can do active meditations or running, walking, as well as practicing yoga or some kind of exercise. And we tune into our body. We're not just thinking of the next step or the next move. We're really just allowing the body to lead. We can, when we connect with another, then with this practice, when we connect with another, we connect from a very beautiful space, like a full, authentic, loving space. And the relationship, the experience with the other will be a lot more magical and a lot more authentic, with no judgments, no ego worrying about if you look good or not. It will be a real true meeting in love.
To connect with our body is to connect with our nervous system, is to connect with the possibility that we have to regulate our nervous system. And besides slowing down, is to really stop, because sometimes we really need to stop. We need to give a time to ourselves. We need to give a time to the body to regulate. It's not just going to do more, to achieve something. It's to go inside, is to give time, to allow the wisdom of the body to regulate what needs to be regulated. That is fundamental in our Tantra path, to be aware that when we are expanding our awareness, because it's what Tantra means, the expansion of the consciousness, sometimes we need to stop and to give a time for the body to, with his, her wisdom, to regulate itself.
And when we practice more awareness, more attuning to our body, allowing the nervous system to settle, allowing the body and the heart to guide us, we can start to see where this chronic tension or pain is stored in our body and release it, because our body is our storage facility of all the experiences that we have in life. If we don't process them properly, we store them. Trauma is stored as tension in the body. And that is a beautiful gift, because we can look at those areas of tension, of perhaps some chronic pain, and we can breathe into those spaces when we have the awareness, when we have our practice of meditation or other methods. We can allow that to release. And those tensions or experiences are always lessons to learn. So we don't judge them or think, oh no, this happened to me, I wish it didn't. We see, what is the gift in this experience? What is this pain teaching me? What can I learn from this? And how can I grow and be a better person and show up more fully in life? So there are many ways to release the tension or to heal the pain, and that can come from being with a therapist or from doing your own practices, movement, breath work, yoga, and learning to hear what the body is always communicating to you, learning to have a dialogue with it, and to listen, to really listen, but not just listen, but to take action. When you hear and learn to hear what the body is saying, when we take action to respond to it, like perhaps it gives a stomach ache when you eat some shitty food. It's pretty simple. Don't eat shitty food, for example. And there are many different ways that our body is talking to us. We've just forgotten how to listen to it.
And sometimes the action is to stop to do. And that's fundamental in our world, that we are so conditioning to achieve things, to perform things, and to get the value of that sensibility that we have, because that sensibility, it's not a weakness, it's a gift. It's a gift of energy, it's a gift of the wisdom that you might have about yourself. It doesn't work that oh, I found that I'm eating sugar too much in my life, for example, and then to go guilty and to keep that circular pain system of finding something that can be opportunity to have a better life, and to get to get against our own selves, to see that as a positive every discovery that we do about ourselves. And we don't need to keep going and going and going. We just need to slow down, to integrate our nervous system, to be aware where the body wants to speak. Sometimes the body just wants to be heard, nothing else to be done. Sometimes needs to take action. Sometimes we need to stop to eat sugar because it's not good for ourselves. And we find out because of the pain, as Lakshmi was describing. To be aware, that's our main goal. And that's our invitation to you because it's you in your own experience. And that is our message at Awaken Experience, to awake yourself through your own experience by the invitation that we might bring that invitation to look for different possibilities, to look for different options, and to trust the wisdom of your own body.
Yes, and when we learn to trust this wisdom of the body, we recognize the magic that we are. And with all these practices that we've been talking about, doing meditation, dance, tantra, to become more aware of the body, we'll have the result of self love. But that is also a quality that you can cultivate. So perhaps doing all these practices doesn't help you love yourself. You don't automatically love yourself much more. So if you consciously start to appreciate yourself, you're doing these practices and you are doing them from a place of love, then you will start to love yourself, not in a way that's arrogant or thinking that other people are less than you. When we start to love ourselves authentically, we don't see other people as a threat, because usually when we feel like we are better than other people, it's because we feel threatened by them. We try to make ourselves bigger, but when we come back to the real, authentic self love, we love everybody. And that doesn't mean that we accept abuse or anything like that. When we have authentic, pure self love, we have boundaries, because not everybody will know how to respect your boundaries, and sometimes they will be crossed. But when we are in the body, when we are slow, when we have this awareness of what's from the mind and what's from the heart, and we work with them together, not as enemies, because the mind is also not the enemy. It is just not supposed to be the master, which it is in most circumstances these days, but it's a practice and a cultivation of this love for ourselves, love for our minds, our egos, and our hearts. When we join them all together, we create peace in our bodies. And with this peace comes space. And with this spaciousness comes tolerance for other people around us, and we get less triggered, less reactive. We know how to respond rather than just react, because we're not in the mind going tuck, 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 the chitta-vritti mind, do this, do that, scroll, scroll, shop, shop. No, when we have this practice of breath, practice of awareness, practice of relating with our body, being here, the body is the doorway. We are more in the heart, we are more in love, and we are more in life.
The practice of the self-compassion, the practice of the self-love, starting on the body, starting by ourselves and expanding to the others. And I want to bring the pillars of Tantra. That love that Lakshmi is speaking about, that love that starts in ourselves, in that love, in the respect by our own body, our own self, and that love that starts in ourselves and expands wherever it goes. And the other pillar is meditation. These two pillars, the love and the meditation, are the structure of the Tantra for the expansion of awareness, bringing love in that expansion of awareness, but also bringing presence, bringing the presence in each moment for what it is, It's also to be connected to what is real, what is reality. And that's our invitation, that's our message. It's very essential and very fundamental, is to be present for what it is in each moment, to bring love first for ourselves and expanding in the world, to connect with the three keys that we spoke already about, the breath and the movement, bringing the sound, also the third key of Tantra, and to bring that wisdom to a remember that starts in a body, in ourselves, by our own experience, and not by what they told us. It's not about to create a new belief system. It's about to remember what we already, each of us, know, and that take out the performance, the goal, the need to please, the need to achieve something, and to be in connection with the fundamental laws of the nature. Because never forget, you are also part of the nature, as me, as Lakshmi, as the birds, as the butterflies, as the ocean or the sky. And to remember that we are all connected as part of the nature, and that to remember that we are part of the nature brings more awareness for the world that we live, brings more care about the world that we live. And it's clearly that is not a selfish act, just, oh, I want to love myself, I want to care about myself, I want to care about the food I eat, I do exercise to be healthy, I took supplements, I meditate, I dance, I walk, whatever you do, it's perfect that you take care of yourself, because also you are part of the nature. And bringing that awareness behind yourself, expanding from yourself, it's the connection that in Tantra happen. Because Tantra many times is seen that meditating with the other, but we start to meditate in the relation with our own self.
It starts with us. It really does. And like Ashik was saying, self compassion is the foundation. And when we are on this spiritual path, this path of self love, this path of awakening, it is so important for the self compassion because, like any relationship, there will be times when you go backwards or you feel like you're going backwards. You might wake up one day and you feel so disappointed with yourself. You might be feeling like you don't want to go about your day. You want to be sad and depressed in bed, and then you're like, oh, but if I was in the awakening, I would be feeling joy and bliss. And we beat ourselves up for having moments of seemingly bad periods. But those bad periods are just as much a gift as the joyous periods. And life is both. You know, we can't just be joyous all the time because then we wouldn't even know what joy is. So we need to love ourselves the most when we are in these stages of sadness or of not doing as well as we want, or we didn't behave the way we think we should. And should is such an invasive word. It's like you should have done that, you should have done that. You know, it's not a very constructive word. When we are having these bad moments, there that's the time when you practice real self-love. And you know, self-love doesn't mean that you're always going to be having massages and in the spa every day. That's not self-love, that's self-care, and it's very important to do things that help your body feel good. But self-love also involves doing the work, going to a therapist if that's what you need to do, going to the gym if that's what your body needs, taking courses to improve your communication, doing courses that help you tap into the intelligence of your body. There are so many things you can do, but the most important thing is to go back to yourself. Nobody can show you the way, nobody can tell you this is what you should and shouldn't do. you know, you can try lots of different things, because at the end of the day, you are your own guru. There is nobody who knows more about you than you. And yes, some people can help you, guide you, teach you this, show you that. But at the end of the day, it's how you integrate all of those things with the truth that resides in the heart.
To bringing awareness about our heart, that is energy, our body, that is energy, that are constant atoms moving, that is what we call Shakti, creativity, energy, changing all the time. And at the same time, the observer, the meditator, the, 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 the being that is looking to that, that is the meditator, the Shiva, to bring this polarity, the Shiva and the Shakti, to be observing that polarity in ourselves, in the world, and to bring that to our own life, and to bring that to every part of our body. Because one thing that Tantra do is that doesn't exclude any part of life. It's not like to be in a monastery, isolated, meditating. It's also that we can, that also is welcome in our life, but also to go in the world, to go to live in a normal world, to have both sides and to be in presence and in love in both, or in all the parts of the world that we go. It's to be present with what it is in each moment and not excluding any part. Because also there is some spiritual paths that they deny the material part. It's to bring also the material part. There is nothing wrong in living in a comfortable life. There is nothing wrong in eating very nice food and having nice moments, and to have access to culture or anything that makes you to expand your awareness about life. We integrate in Tantra everything, and we integrate also all parts of the body. And one part of the body that many spiritual parts don't integrate is the genitals, is the sexuality. And that's a fundamental part of ourselves. It's the fundamental part that has the creativity, that has the life force energy, that where we can bring life to this planet. And in Tantra, we also invite you to expand your awareness to your sexuality starting in your own body, but also with the other.
Yes, on this path of awakening and self-love, we may begin to feel this sexual energy that we didn't feel so much before. Because if we're not in a state of love or an appreciation with our bodies, we are very contracted, and maybe we have a lot of tension and shame and guilt for just our bodies, which also can lead to shame and guilt from our sexuality and our sexual energy. So, and many cultures teach us to be shameful or to think dirty of our genitals and our sexual energy, and it's such a shame. But if you look at it, it's makes sense, because we've been brought up to be in a controlled environment, to go to school, to go get a job, and to be part of this system where if everybody was sexually empowered or in love with themselves and feeling fullness of their body and fully alive, it wouldn't really serve the society that we live in. And and nowadays, many people are waking up to the fact that there's something missing in their lives, and what that missing is the connection to our life force energy, to this powerful magnetic force here. It can be in the womb, in the yoni. The yoni is the sacred space, sacred place in Sanskrit, meaning the female genitalia, or the lingam, which means the pillar of light in Sanskrit for the male genitalia. And when we connect to the energies there, and if you are not identifying with male or female, that's okay, because you will still have this energy down there and you can think of it as any sex that you want. It's more about energies. So we have the male and the female energy within us. Everybody, every living thing has this masculine and feminine energy. But what we're talking about here right now is the recognition of this energy and allowing it to work with us. Because what happens when we suppress this energy all the time? We become contracted, we become sick, maybe physically, maybe, we don't allow ourselves to feel the energies that are there, which could be joy, pleasure, pain, anger. We push it down a lot. And when we feel that energy, we allow it to come up and express itself. And sometimes it can look ugly and sometimes it can be beautiful. But when we accept it for whatever it is, it transforms. So it's really important to, on this path, is to recognize that energy that we have there, to not suppress it and to be curious, like, what is it, like, how can I tap into this energy and make it work for me? So having it rise up into the heart, being able to spread it without having limits, can really help you to live a more fulfilled life. And I would be bold to say, to help you heal any chronic pain and tension or illnesses that you have.
Hmm. Our invitation is that you connect with your body, to connect with what is the fire that you have in your first chakra, in your genitals, in your energy that creates life, your sexual energy, and also to investigate by yourself, not trusting what we are saying, and to trust in your body, to trust in yourself, and to give the opportunity to search about that. That means to play with your own polarity. Doesn't matter if, which, like Lakshmi said, in which kind of relation you are, what kind of sexual identification you have. We are pure energy. We are atoms, that we know. We are trillions of atoms circulating on us, and we all know that it's from our genital that life appears. It's not only as human beings, it's not only in the animals. We cannot forget that the plants also, they they have their way to reproduce, and that way of reproduce is by the sexual energy. It's by the beauty of the flowers that I always like to remember, that are sexual organs. It's sexuality pure, and we love the flowers, the attraction of the flowers that we have, and it's amazing. Why not to go back to our bodies and to also appreciate our own sexuality, our own sex, and to study, because we might study so many things. Now we are studying artificial intelligence, or we are studying wherever it is available in the world. Why not to study something so important? And we really invite you to study about the physiology, because we find out in our retreats and in our sessions that people didn't, it's so important, the sexuality, and at the same time doesn't, most of us don't give us time, energy to study, to know how it works, how is possible to know about anatomy, how we can know about the physiology, how the nervous system operates. That will help a lot us also to to feed our mind, our need of knowledge, to connect with more with the wisdom of the body. That's fundamental, and it's a great invitation that we make to you.
Yes, and when we have this practice of awareness of our body, we we can allow ourselves to experience more pleasure. And since I am a woman, I can speak for some women that it's almost as if we have been told that we don't deserve pleasure. And a woman's body is hardwired for pleasure. I'm not saying that a man's is not, I'm just speaking from my own personal experience. And when we start to allow ourselves to feel more pleasure, and that can be from eating chocolate, having a beautiful cup of tea, or making love to yourself or your partner, when we allow our full expression using the keys, breath, sound, and movement, the tantric keys, we can open our pleasure capacity to a much broader level. And to be able to experience more pleasure, we also have to learn to love and accept ourselves, even our shadows, even our dark aspects, even the parts we don't even want to look at ourselves. Because, for example, what Ashik was saying about we have not looked at the genitals, we don't acknowledge them. When you go for a massage, nobody touches down there. And maybe it's a good thing, but maybe it's good to have them welcomed as part of the body, not something to be ashamed of. What I'm saying is that when we recognize the beauty and the power of our genitals in between our legs, we can be turned on more to life because we are shining the light of awareness what society has shunned and told us that is dirty and we shouldn't show it. And we have shame for our periods, shame for ejaculation if it happens. So much shame. Shame, shame, shame. It's just a sad state of affairs how we shun this area. And when we can love it, bring it into our lives, create a practice where every day you acknowledge it, which could be as simple as waking up in the morning and greeting your yoni, putting a hand there saying, I see you, I honor you, my creative life force, my pleasure center. You are welcome in my life. I listen to you, be my guide. Welcoming it to be part of the body, you will have a more fulfilling life. You will be able to connect more with your partner. You'll be able to connect more with your kids, with everybody around you, because you will be fully turned on, fully alive. And pleasure is our birthright. It's not for, oh, if you deserve it, or if you've been good today. If you bring pleasure into your life, you will, yeah, have a more magical life.
Hmm. And that's all that shame that we might have. We need to be gentle also with ourselves because that shame was there by some reason in certain time. And every time that we discover that, to be gentle with ourselves and to be aware that that shame in general, that repression of the sexuality, had create lots of perversity. And when Lakshmi says that what we could have massage of on the genitals also it's good to understand that first that there is lots of perversity in because of that repression that was about sexuality, and then it came in a very perverse way that we know from the world. That it's good to be very clear about our boundaries and our limits, and to be very aware to protect ourselves from bringing any kind of abuse, because there is too much, because that perversity of the repressed sexuality, it's showing in many ways, as we all know. And it's good to also to be gentle, because the body, with ourselves, to be very gentle, because the body store the information, store the history, and maybe has some traumas on it, and maybe some even traumas, energy that was stuck there that we don't even know, and may come when we are expanding of awareness, as Lakshmi said. It's not only flowers on the path. There is challenge on the path, and the challenge may come, and we need to see them. It's also energy. It's part of the polarity of life. It's part of this energy, and to be very gentle and to give time for our nervous system to integrate, to ask help if we need to a therapist of trauma, because we might found things that we are not expecting in ourselves. Maybe because of that, we sometimes we stay stuck, crystallized in some place that looks safe. It's not so fantastic. It's not so alive, but is somehow safe in, I would say, in some kind of mediocrity. Mediocrity? Yeah, because there is much more possibilities. And if we go expanding at our own rhythm, allowing our awareness to expand and to stop and to slow down when is necessary, maybe the life will be amazing surprise, and there will be opportunities in life that we might not dream even when we start on that path. And that's what is amazing on the path of tantra, is that possibility to bring that life force energy to all the parts of ourselves and of the existence. And even if there is this challenge in life, life itself is love. Life itself is light, is pure energy, is pure expansion. Even the universe, it's expanding by the last scientific explanations about the universe. And we are part of this. We are powder of the stars somehow. We are connected with all in somehow, because we are energy that moves. We are energy that comes from our parents and goes behind our life, because even when we die, our conscience die, we still are atoms moving energy.
Energy never dies, it just transforms.
Mm.
And I love how you were saying that the universe is always expanding, and it's true. So when we think of ourselves and we're on this path and we're growing and expanding, sometimes we go backwards, but we never really go back to where we were. We might feel like we've taken a step off the path, or we, haven't learned enough. We're always judging ourselves, but it's important to recognize that we will never go back to the day we were born. We've always been expanding and growing and expanding and growing all the time, even though maybe sometimes we become stagnant and we feel like we're not, we still are, because life is always evolving, always changing, and the only thing we know for sure is that we will die. And that is why it is so imperative that we have a miraculous life. And the only person stopping us from having this miraculous life is ourselves. You may say, oh, but I am in this war torn area, or I am disabled, or something. But I'm sure that those situations are very difficult. But even in those moments, you can see the miraculousness of life, because you are alive, you are functioning, you are able to love, you are able to see the goodness and the bad, and you are able to make decisions that can lead your life to be open-hearted. In any situation, you can be open-hearted, and some people will have a more challenging life than others. But even so, we can still choose to walk from the heart of love.
Hmm. And in our perception, something that we might judge as good or bad in a moment might change in other moments. That we found out that what our judgment thought, oh, it was good, maybe it's bad, and what was bad, it was good. And that brings me the that we sometimes in the most difficult moments is when we have a possibility for a shifting on our life, and to have a possibility of really, from that difficult challenge moment, to have the possibility to find part of the life of our expansion of our awareness about what is, that we never had that possibility before, that was given in that moment. As also, we don't look in Tantra for pleasure, as many, at least in our lineage, that many people think, oh, Tantra is pleasure, is to make love for 6 hours or 8, whatever, and can be, and that's okay. But we look for expansion of awareness, and that expansion of awareness might come from a difficult moment, but also might come from the pleasure, because pleasure, it's not a distraction in Tantra, it's a possibility to expand our awareness. It's to get more in contact with the reality, to be more present in the meditation, to expand our ability to love ourselves and the other. It means both polarities, the difficulties, the pain, and the pleasure, are just polarities on the same path of the union, that is the expansion of ourselves as wisdom, as remembering our own wisdom from inside, but at the same time to connect with the wisdom of the universe, of the everything.
Hmm. And if you are looking to be on the tantric path, to find a tantric partner and have a sacred sexual union, the first thing you need to do is have a sacred union with yourself. So, practicing self love, doing meditations by yourself, because when you come into a sacred relationship, it will not be easy. Your beloved will show you parts of yourself that you didn't want to see, but they will love you regardless. So it is both challenging and fulfilling. And that is why it is so important to have this relationship with yourself before. Because if you don't, it won't work. It will be too difficult. It will result in having too much conflict or too much pain. But when we know how to see and acknowledge the pain within ourselves and love the pain, loving and seeing yourself through another's eyes will be still a challenge, but it will help you grow. And it's this acceptance of expansion by choosing all, by acknowledging all, the pain and the pleasure, acknowledging both come with each other. That is how you can have the sacred union. It's not just about, oh, we have amazing sex and it's like transcend and have psychedelic experiences. Maybe you do, but if you haven't learned to look at your shadows, accept them, and to see your partner's shadows, to be able to show him or her, then it's only a physical experience. Maybe it feels spiritual and it's not good or bad, it's what it is. But when you're on a real path of tantra with in a sacred union, on a spiritual path with your partner, those things will need to come to the light.
Yes, the other, and more we open, more love we have, more we open to the other, more we find ourselves. And that's the paradox of life, is to connect with the other. We cannot be with all the time with the protections. We cannot be all the time, because if not, we cannot connect. When part of us wants to be true, and yeah, want to other to be true with us, that means there is a moment that that's protections that we might have because we needed to have, because we had get naturally in the life. We found out that we have to remove these protections, or even if we don't remove, the other see us. And then you see our wounds, you see our difficulties, you see our pain. And when the others see, we see also. It's a mirror in the relation. And when it's possible to see that, we see also our own essence. And that all starts in the body. It starts not in a concept way, it's not about ideas, but about to feel it in the body, to feel our connection with all and with ourselves, our connection with our wounds and traumas and difficulties, but also the connection of the protection that we create for protecting ourselves in life. And sometimes needs to be there and is useful, but in an intimate relation, in a pure intimate relation, they have to get to drop before we find what is intimacy. And intimacy implies to have the courage to show ourselves. And our relation starts by us with ourselves before we go to the other. Try by yourself. Experiment by yourself. Take out ideas and search in your body. Search breathing, search connecting, search to find what is true or not for you.
Yes, when we have our relationship with ourselves more concrete and real, we know what our boundaries are. And if we don't, then we can't expect anybody else to respect our boundaries because we haven't set them. We might not know how to determine what our boundaries are, and maybe we'll need some relationships to learn that. So, and they may not be like the most functional relationships, and they may teach you like, oh, okay, I need to learn this about myself, I need to go deeper here with myself, or I need to explore why I'm attracting this particular person or this kind of relationship. So we have these relationships where we have a lot of challenges, or they're just not very challenging at all. And when we have those moments and we realize that, okay, I want to attract a life partner or somebody who can meet me where I am, like Ashik said, the most important thing for you to do is to know yourself, to know your boundaries, to know who you are as a person, and that's a path, and you will always evolve and always change. And when you are in another relationship with somebody else, even if it's a great tantric spiritual path, you will still need to develop your relationship with yourself. You will need to maintain that, because that's the foundation of your partner. Your relationship with the other is your relationship with yourself and him or herself. So it's important to always acknowledge that and to always be nurturing that, because like any relationship that needs work, it needs attention, it needs effort, so to speak. So does your relationship with yourself, because otherwise you're abandoning yourself. You need to feed yourself, clothe yourself, take care of yourself, but also see what's really going on with you. Take time to know what your needs are and to feel your body, because your body's always communicating.
And the body doesn't lie. The body, it's in the present moment. I can forget that I'm breathing. I can even forget my heart for weeks, but it's still here, and it's always there, every second. Boom, 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 boom. And it's good to remember that is obvious for everyone, that everyone knows, but we forgot. We forgot so much that we have this great, great possibility to go back to the present moment. And especially when in the relation with the other, that we want to be present for what it is in the moment. We don't want to be making love thinking about, oh, I need to go to the supermarket, or whatever. uh, and to to be present in that moment. We have always the possibility to go back to our body, and the thoughts, they come. I We work with many people around the world in all the cultures, even in the cultures that they privilege a lot the meditation path. The thoughts come. The difference between to be attracted to these thoughts, to be feeding these thoughts, and to be present for what is in that moment, it's the body. It's the body that brings us the possibility to be in the present moment. It's not to fight with the thoughts, it's not to feed them, but is to bring the presence to the body, is to bring the connection with our heart, is to be aware of our breathing. It's be also to be with the other, and to get lost in the body of the other is to forget the wisdom of our body, is to forget the connection with our own way of feeling. That mean we, even when we are with the other, to remember the wisdom of the body, to connect with our senses that are the doors of our body to the world. It's the possibility to be with the other in the present moment, is the wisdom of the body.
Mm. Yeah, when we talk about the wisdom of the body, the intelligence of the body, we can also think that health and fitness are great ways to tune into that. And there is definitely some gold in there. Like, we can push our bodies, we can become super fit, we can give ourselves all the supplements and superfoods and biohacking whatnots. It's great. But if you start to force and become obsessed and to be so focused on what so and so said on their channel because they're the greatest biohacker ever, and to not be listening to your own body. So we like, oh, I need this, and we have the tendency to do this. Oh, this person said I need to take this supplement, and or they didn't actually say to you, they just said that this supplement is good for this. And I've done that myself before, and many things have helped, but some things have been unnecessary. So it's very important to remember that somebody on Instagram or TikTok who's talking about health doesn't know your body better than you do. And yes, maybe you need help and support from learning to learn about the body, because we're not taught about it. We have to learn, we have to develop the relationship with the body. And it's important to be fit and it's important to be healthy, but there's also this level where it's too much and it becomes obsessive, and then we flood our body with too many things that we don't hear what it's saying. Again, we are not listening. So being a health fanatic is also one way of distracting ourselves, is one way of external validation or external wisdom. And we have to learn to take what we see on social media or wherever, and to remember that our body knows better, because we're taught that our body doesn't know anything. We're taught that we don't know anything about ourselves, and that is a lie and a conditioning. But it's also a practice to learn how to know what the body's intelligence is saying and how to act in a way that is good for your body. And it doesn't just come like that, because we have to take all these layers of conditioning off, of lack of self-belief, of lack of self-love. We're taught that we are not enough and we need to buy all these products to make ourselves feel better, or we need somebody else to complete us. And we it's not our fault, but it is our responsibility to take our power back. And that comes from learning to stay in the silence, to meditate, to however that may be, active meditation or seated meditation or dancing, to learn to listen to the body, to create this space practicing yoga is a great way to create space in the body, to learn to listen to the body. So there's so many ways that you can do it, and you are not wrong, you are not broken, but it is your responsibility to take the power of your body back.
And to take your power back, to connect with the wisdom of your body. Before we close, we speak about do something practical with yourself. Don't trust in what we are saying. See in your body, see in your own experience. For me, to I love to dance. Yoga is so good to do it. But for me, the big thing is to connect with the nature, to be in a forest, to be in the ocean that connects really with my body in an ancestral way. It connects with it's like there is a memory behind my life in my body when I connect with the nature. And we invite you to find your own practice, to try maybe different ones, maybe to try the dance, maybe to try the yoga, maybe to try to walk on the forest or to swim in the ocean, or to sit in silence in the rock somewhere, or simple listen a music that inspire you and opens the senses of the perception that you have at the same time that you are connected with your body. Our invitation is to practice by yourself, maybe to have a massage, or any other practice that you feel that works for you, connecting with your body, connecting with the wisdom that is already there.
Yes, I would add to that to be really present in the moment. So whatever you're doing, and I really like what Ashik said in the beginning. You said to walk barefoot on the earth. So the soles of your feet are touching the earth, and just to be aware of the sensation that you can feel on the bottom of the skin of the foot and the wind on your skin. To take those tiny moments and practice awareness and spaciousness, and to see if you can still the mind in anything that you're doing, like dancing, like you were saying, but just to be really aware and create that space inside.
Mm. Thank you for your presence.